Hello, good evening, welcome back to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, back in the show as JFK after Johnstone 0. Rangers won it in a classic encounter in the new McDermott Park. How are we doing, JFK?
I'm fine, Ox, here. It's a win, as I say. It was a Bridgeman with the win, but there's not really much we can say about that.
Well, thanks apart for taking that, Jimmy. I'd just like to say good night to everybody, and it's all your Fox to play.
That was my famous word I've used many times. That was turgid. That was bad to watch. After the fourth or fifth minute, we looked as if we were going to come in with my 5-0.
I'm going to give you my thoughts, Jimmy, and then you can maybe see what you think.
There you go.
I thought we were shapeless. I thought the part influenced the quality of the football. I accept that. You can run with the ball. I thought we were tactically naive. Our manager gave us more cause for concerns after that. Some of the guys are dead on their feet and they played them another 90 minutes. Some of the guys who have got pace, Kent, Morelos, 75 minutes, you can see Alfie's gone. You know, he's giving us everything and you can't keep going to the well.
Yeah.
You know, we can't keep doing it and we need a change and we don't bring Sir Callum on. We could take off anybody. Alfie, we could take off Scott Arfield, who I reckon didn't touch the ball in the first 18 minutes, mate. There you go.
Well, there's not really much I can add to that, mate, and the fact is I agree 100% what you're saying, you know, it just... Bassi, Kamara, Alfie. Aye. For me, Alfie was the man of the match, and a lot of people think that's strange, but he tried his heart out. The midfield was non-existent. I don't know what they were doing in there watching it. They were all milling about there. Nobody knew what each other was doing. We could go into the substitutions later on in the game. Why was there no substitutions? I'm just. It's hard to get built up about a victory, but it was the way that it was very, very poor. You know, very.
We're critiquing tonight's performance and you've summed it up. Poor is you're being kind, mate. But what I would say, I wish we'd seen the Motherwell game like that, the Aberdeen game like that, and the Ross County game like that. We wouldn't be in the mess we're in. Yeah.
Well, well, look, if we wouldn't be critiquing it probably as badly as we are if we had come away with a result on Sunday and won the night, although it was a turgid game to watch. But that was as poor a performance. I think it was Andy and Jim for Paisley had said, you know, that they were thinking that, no, they didn't say it was gone, but it's going to be really hard if we're going to play like that, Ox. Yeah, that was bad to watch.
Well, it was bad to watch, but I think the pitch had a lot to do with the lack of quality. It didn't help, but after 20 minutes, mate, it was just like a ploughed field, you know.
I can agree with that, but come on, it's the same for the two teams, mate.
Aye. If you think about it, in the second half, they done absolutely nothing, did they?
No, they didn't. You know, but we've got to take the good and the bad, and the night was just all bad for me. I never saw anything that would convince me that we're going to continue to win another 9 games. That was really poor.
What a different 6 days, mate. What a different 6 days, mate. Right, I'll tell you. We'll get these phone lines open. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Carry on, Jimmy.
It was, you know, sitting watching that. I mean, I know we don't go look back, but come away for the game on Sunday feeling right down. But I'm hoping tonight that the Rangers can lift me, you know, and get me back up to that, the way I feel about watching the Rangers, whether I'm in the telly or live at Ibrox, you know, and they didn't do anything for me tonight, you know, and that's disappointing, disheartening going forward. And every game now is a cup final for us. Every single game.
But you'd have took that in the cup final, wouldn't you? Because you won.
Of course you would. Look, as I said in the pre-show, pre-match show, is that I'll take a Bridgeman every game, and we end up on the asylum at the end of it. You know, if that's what I had to take. But that was dire. You know, and I'm thinking that we could go in and beat this team easy. And
anyway, we've been joined by Juicy.
There you go.
Juicy Bear, how we doing, Juicy?
Juicy.
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
All right, Juicy.
Nice to meet you, JFK. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right, Juicy. Nice to speak to you, pal.
Good. Well, how about that, guys?
I think the DVD's coming out tomorrow, and it's got El Clasico on it, Juicy.
It's the best 3 minutes of football I've ever seen, and then I fell into a coma. It's. I think JFK's pretty much, and you, Oxford, have said everything I was going to say. So you're right. What you said earlier, we might as well wrap up the show because I can't really say much more. The performances are worrying me in the league now. We've got, as you said, JFK, we've got, what is it, 8 or 9
games
finals, right, and we look tired. He didn't make any subs, which suggests to me that lack of confidence in either what he has on the bench or he's worried about making a mistake by making a sub and going wrong. But that match was crying out for a Sakala to come on in the last 20 and just run at them. But you guys, we've seen this movie, as everyone keeps saying, 1-0, the other team's going to get a chance. Fortunately for us and unfortunately for St Johnstone, they're not very good. So that didn't materialise tonight because they really actually didn't do much at all to hurt us. But the ball spent most of the time in the air. And I just was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to watch another 9 of these this season. And you're right, JFK, I'm going to be right next to you in that asylum. Because if we do get 9 1-0 wins, I'll be pleased, but I won't have any brain cells left to appreciate the victory. And, I know it's not always about performances, guys. So, there's going to have to be a grind. But we've been grinding for months now, and we haven't actually been getting results. I am concerned. We've still got the quality, but you think we're going to be playing 3 matches every week now for a while. And that does have me a little bit concerned. What do you think about that, guys, with the remaining fixtures in Europe as well?
The question I'll ask you two then, what's the team going to be on Saturday? It's going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah, it will be the same unless he decides to bring Sakala into the frame and take Arfield out of the equation. I can't see it changing much, Oxshire. Alan McGregor did nothing tonight apart from the mix-up with him and Golson. I would say that was probably 50-50 between the two of them that caused that wee stramash. But he didn't do it, and you could say that would say Winnie Wharton playing against the Sheep on Saturday. But I'd agree with you. I think it'll probably be more or less the same team. Maybe 1 or 2 wee changes. No, midfield the other night was absolutely non-existent. We won nothing in midfield the night, and that's worrying. Get into a game like the Sheep, And I know we're playing at Ironworks, but we know what's happening at Ironworks the last week, so we're not saying that we're going to perform better than what we have been doing. So as Juicy says, it is a concern. It's not something we want to be saying. It's a concern for us, but it certainly is, and I think you can. In the coming days, we'll especially hear Juicy talking there, and I'm speaking to yourself, speaking to Fox in the office here and that. But there's a big concern to me about, is this league for us? We've got to be realistic about that.
I don't think nothing's changed tonight. I think we've just got to critique this performance, and the performance on a terrible pitch was awful. But what worried everybody was all of a sudden we've used 11 players. What's that? You could have used nearly 30 players, Juicy. Yeah. And we've used the last 2 games, 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to the well with these guys, and I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Unless he's thinking Saturday, get his Saturday, 3 o'clock, and then we've got a right few days off to relax and build up to the Belgrade game. That's all I can see in the agenda, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, look, they didn't play great either tonight on the other side of the city, and both teams are looking tired, but they did make 5 substitutions tonight.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, it's rotating it a bit, even though if the personnel that are coming on aren't as good as the first team lineup, it's still a bit of rotation. You know, you're changing it at 60, 65 minutes. And, you know, I know it's hard to do that if you're only 1-0 up, but, you know, we are a little bit limited at the moment because we have got a few players out, and, you know, but really, realistically, it would probably only have been Sakala that I would have brought on tonight, unless we'd scored a second goal. You know, because we were limited. But is Jack going to be anywhere near available for the weekend?
I think so, mate. I think so.
Right, that could be really, really big for us if he is, because he's just that player that has added something, and we've seen it in the matches that he's played. He has added a lot to the game. But I didn't dial into your, I didn't phone in to the last few shows, but you guys were talking about last couple of shows about the January signings not hitting the ground running, and you know, we've obviously signed a couple of players there who are injured. You know, and Ramsey, Diallo's now got a knock as well. But Jack, all right, we've rested him a few games, and he did have one knock thing, but he has been a big plus for us when he's played. And even if he plays 5 of the 9 remaining matches, that's still going to be great for us. I'm just going to be really worried for the 4 games that he doesn't play. But, you know, he's added something. Jury's out on Ramsey. You know, the kid's obviously got problems. I read that Juventus are looking at terminating his contract or something in the summer. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether he's with Rangers or whoever he's with, he's going to be having those problems. And, you know, clearly we're not going to be signing him. So it's probably something that we shouldn't really dwell on too much, guys. I know it was a lot of publicity, but there was always that risk that, you know, he wasn't healthy. You know, if he's match fit, and this is no disrespect to us, if he's 100% match fit, he's probably not signing for Rangers on loan. But you know, he's got an opportunity to play for us, to get some minutes, and he'll do well if he can prove his fitness. But for now, let's not dwell on that, because people were getting upset about it the other night. You know, we've still got some quality players. We've got the Sheep on Saturday. We know that it's their cup final. They lost again tonight, but they'll, you know, last 2 games we've drawn against them. You know, that 2-0 down, weren't we, at Ibrox last time out against them at home? And this is what's killed us this season, the home form. You know, before Gerrard left, we drew with the Sheep, we drew with Motherwell, we drew with Hearts. And that's really hurt us this season. I know we then had that bad run after Christmas, but I keep thinking about the 4 home games where we've dropped points in, twice to Motherwell, Sheep and Hearts. And we really restricted Hearts and Motherwell, but they both scored with basically the only shot they had on target in the whole match.
Yeah, mate, yeah. We've also been joined by old Davey. Evening, Davey.
Hi, guys. Hi. What can you say about that? Anyway, what I said earlier, and I mentioned it clearly, that I would like to see how he uses his subs tonight. And that was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Murph questions and answers, Davey, yeah?
Oh, the midfield was all over the place. They're able to, I mean, you could go in them all and pick them, but I just felt the overall performance, and I tell you, this is true. I switched it off with about 8 minutes to go, because I said, here we go again. I'm 73, you know, boys. My heart will not take that. I switched it all.
74 in the first at the start of January. You've mentioned it once or twice. You're starting to bore us now, David.
Come on. I agree with what the boys were saying, and I agree with what Jim was saying. And about if we continue like that, we've no got a snowballs. And I still think we're looking pretty jaded. I think we're out in our feet and we're not changing it. It's no good enough.
Aye, jaded's a word there, JFK.
Aye, that's a polite word. I mean, we could use a lot of other words on here, Davey, but I mean, we're not allowed to. That was as bad as I've seen, you know. That was poor. Midfield was non-existent. Alfie, for me, was our best man in the park, although he never scored. There's not really much to say about the game apart from after 5 or 6 minutes, it just went downhill for there. And you were hoping the second half it was going to get better, and it didn't. It got worse. So I'm like yourself. I'm concerned that the manager never used. At least had a couple of chances of bringing on a substitution, and I'd brought Sakalo, but for whatever reason, I don't know if he was thinking he needs the players for Saturday against the Sheep, or does he not trust the group of players he's got on the bench. He'll probably not tell us that. He maybe he's born to listen to these interviews as it is. So I'm still concerned because I've said before, and I think we all agree, the other mob are there aren't any great shakes, but they're getting that wee rubbery green.
What I will say to you is all, there was a chain of thought. It didn't matter tonight as long as we won. We won. Juicy.
Oh, that's absolutely right. And as you were saying, guys, you know, if we'd won all those drawn games 1-0 and it was turgid, we would be in a slightly better mood. But it's concerning when the performances are concerning. All right, yeah, we beat St Johnstone tonight, who have been playing awful. And are we fortunate that it was only St Johnstone tonight? Because they created nothing. They didn't really do anything. But the problem is when it's 1-0, normally, and we were fortunate tonight, but normally the opposition will get one chance. And, you know, have we got goals in us? Have we got 3 goals in us? And this is where we've had the problems. If we don't score 3 goals in a game, we've been struggling to get the wins. And we've got 2 old firm derbies, and, you know, they're not playing great either. They're not, but they are grinding. And, you know, I want to get on that grind now as well. But, you know, we've got them at the weekend. You know, we've then got Celtic at some point coming up in early April at home. Obviously, we've got matches before that as well. But the big one is when we go to Parkhead after the split. And are we confident that we can go there? Right now, we need to go there and win. And, you know, if we'd got the win the other day, we would have just been needing a draw there. And, you know, they've got Livingston as well, which they hate. So there's difficult games for them as well. But I'm not confident right now that we can win all 9 matches nice and easy. I think it's going to be turgid. We're going to have to get down and dirty. Going to have to use the dark arts that JFK's spoken about in the past, and really dig deep. They're capable. But when you look at that bench tonight, guys, other than Sakala, who else would you have brought on? Maybe Lowry. He's not really been using Lowry much recently, has he?
I don't know if I brought the ball on in that pitch.
No, probably not. But you know, there was nothing else. White, maybe. We know he's not really good enough.
I would have brought him on.
I'd have brought it. Couldn't have been any. Put it this way, it couldn't have been any worse than Ryan Kent. It's been excellent.
No, exactly. It would have still been some freshness. I mean, look, Kent was trying, but you know, Alfredo, I thought, like you said earlier before I came on, I thought he played a good game, but he looked knackered with the last 20 minutes. And you know, he's not always going to score every game, but he is going to work hard and he is going to hold the ball up.
He made the goal for us anyway. We've been joined by Robert. Evening, Robert.
Evening, Ops. Evening, Jimmy. Evening, guys.
Hi, Robert.
Good evening.
Anyway, listen. I'm sorry. Please don't blame the pitch. We know the pitch was poor, but Alex McDonald, Derek Johnson, and Pat Lane and Greg and a lot of them played on worse pitches than that and didn't make excuses. But make the excuses not. And I'll tell you the truth tonight.
See, our manager, I'm sorry, I don't have any faith in him anymore. That guy's not got a clue. He's not got a clue how he never made one substitute when Arfield was blown out his backside. You could see Arfield that I'm only using him as an excuse, and there's 4 or 5 other players like Kent, like Arfield, like Kamara, and Aribo in the midfield, and Lundstrom. How he could sit there again and watch that and not make one substitute when he's got 5 substitutes and he doesn't make one. I'm sorry, Oxford, I don't have any faith in him as a manager at Rangers Football Club, and that's my only opinion.
Strong words, mate.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I know you called Gerrard Sneaky Pete and all that, and maybe now we realise why Gerrard walked out on us, because he wasn't getting the right signings. He was getting Bacuna and Lundstrom and all these kind of signings, Sakala and all that. And maybe now we have to realise, see that team tonight, that team won't win the league. I'm sorry, that team won't win the league.
I wasn't criticising you, Robert. I was saying strong words because I agree with a lot of the things you've said. You know what? I think we're all baffled about why there was no substitutions tonight.
It's not just the fitness, GFK. It was also the performance for some of the players.
The performance was poor.
Couldn't have done any worse.
No, I'd agree. I would have brought Lowry on at a part of the game, and I can understand where you're comfy, Oxford. I would have certainly gave Sands. I think Sands might have done something. I mean, after about 15, 20 minutes, Arfield was blowing it. I agree with you. So the automatic replacement for me there, I'd have just brought on Fashion and had a run at it, and I'd have probably taken Alfie off probably the last quarter an hour because he was knackered, and probably put on Roof. So why did he not do that? I mean, if he's talking about they didn't trust the players, if that's what he's going to say in his presser, but we can't say everybody for the game out of the weekend. They've got to go and win this game and win it convincingly. And while we all can critique it, it's still a Bridgeman result, and we're happy we won. But no playing like that, Oxford.
No, it wasn't a great watch. It started well, and then it just went to the whole fast, David, didn't it?
We weren't picking up players at all. We were sitting. I just felt we were sitting too deep and all. But it was screaming out for get the boy on, Larry. He'd have made it. He's a young boy. We needed legs on that part, and we didn't have them. I mean, the midfield was all over the place. What do? You've got to change it, and that's the worrying bit to me, anyway.
I thought the shape of the midfield left it. I couldn't understand how we were setting up, Robert.
Definitely. He's standing there watching that, right? And your midfield, we could have won a first ball. Now, did you watch it? It was ping ball football night. Ping ball football, the ball up in the air and all that. And all that needed was somebody like a Barry Ferguson or a Pedro Mendes to bring that ball down and to control that midfield and get us forward, and we didn't have it. We didn't have it with Aribo, and I said this to you the other night on the programme. See, when we're playing, we cannot play Aribo and Kamara in the same team because they don't track back, and I'm so disappointed with Kent tonight. I watched a couple of times when he did the track back as well, and he's a football team. See, if you're not playing well, you're no one thing you all do together is you collectively you track back and you try and keep it tight and you try and win balls and move yourself forward. And I'm sorry, see that Rangers team tonight? I'm sorry, this hurt me to see it. That's not good enough.
No, it wasn't a great watch. Did you tape it, Robert, so we could watch it tomorrow?
Oh no, yes, I've taped it. I can't watch it tomorrow. I've been watching since Thursday night. I've been watching Borussia Dortmund away, Borussia Dortmund at home, and I've been watching that 25 to 30 times. And then after Sunday's game, I can't. That hurts me more because I want to watch the Rangers. You know what I'm coming for.
It's not unusual for you to watch your recordings a lot, but that'll keep between me and you. Right, okay. I think your critique of the tactics and maybe the substitutions is more than fair. I think we're all singing for the same hymn sheet, Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like Robert said, the Dortmund game, the 2 Dortmund games, is the best thing we've had this calendar year. You take that out, guys. Where have we been with the performances? We had the good 5-0 against Hearts. If you want to critique that, which I don't like doing because it was a 5-0, but Hearts were without their best 2 centre-backs in that game. But aside from that game in the league, everything else has been pretty turgid, hasn't it? And that's what I'm worried about. You know, we grinded it tonight. It wasn't very good. We didn't play a very good side either. We've got a couple of nice home games now against a team that's always up for it and plays their absolute best game of the season against us, which I'm sure they'll undoubtedly turn up again on Saturday. So we've got to try and put them to the sword. Then we've got a nice break from it for a few days, and then we've got Red Star on the Thursday in a game that we really need to win to take something to their place. But that will be, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, JFK, but I know you always say it's gravy, but that will just be a nice break, as far as I'm concerned, to enjoy a nice European game.
Well, but the scary thing is, I mean, will we play the European way against Aberdeen, or will we play the way we played tonight? Juicy, you know, the European thing for me is a bonus, as we've been told by Port Barrett, is the gravy. I'll take the European thing when it comes. But my only important thing for me is the Rangers to win the 56.
Yeah. And more concerning than the Thursday, my friend, is how are we going to be? What shape are we going to be in for the game at Dundee on the Sunday?
Well, you're right there. You know, that'll obviously depend on what happens on Saturday, Juicy. You know, that's the bigger picture. You know, what will happen in Saturday? You know, do we come away? And we'll be happy if we beat the Sheep 1-0. But it's a football we're looking to be entertained, but a hard crowd to please. You know, and everything all revolves in the next game, which is a big game, which is against the Sheep on Saturday, and then roll on to the next one.
John by Jim for Paisley.
Jim done.
Welcome back, mate. Yeah.
All right, guys. Is that me? Hi, how you doing, guys? All right.
All right, Jim.
Nice to speak to you all. Nice to speak to everyone again. Yeah, that's about the longest 10 minutes of my life. See that last 10 minutes there? That was one of the games. Here we go again. Wasn't it? That last 10 minutes, it was
That was my point. That was my point before the game, Jim. If we were going to have Bridgeman's for the end of the season, we wouldn't have been an institution. We've been the cardiac ward, mate.
Oh no, but it's heavy duty. There, see this 1-0 up and waiting. And I'm well like to. Brian, what's that picture about the day of the Perth cattle show and that this afternoon? It was a disgrace, that. Eh?
I'll pass you to the pitch expert, old Davey.
Well, I agree with that in a certain extent, but I agree with what Robert's saying. You should be able to play. We never even looked like playing there. They were all over the place. We're going to give St Johnstone a bit of credit here. They ran their guts out, closed us down. But we were second best out of the park. That's my opinion.
No, they were garbage. But listen, they were never going to beat us tonight, Robert. No danger. The pitch didn't even suit them. Their goalkeeper couldn't kick the ball. Every time he got the ball at his feet, he was kicking it in the stand. The ball was bouncing around about in front of him.
Jim, I know you.
Robert, you know your name. Just wait. Yeah.
Right.
He's got a yellow card ready to turn to red for you. Right, Jim.
Aye, the pitch was a disgrace. It's all right. Sorry saying it. Sorry saying it didn't suit St Johnstone either, that pitch. It didn't suit anybody. Never mind that anyway. But see the manager tonight. The manager, I'm not saying he had the wrong team, but he could have shuffled the pack about. End up we were playing with one up front in the last 20 minutes. I don't understand all that. The midfield didn't know whether to stick or twist. You got a Rebo didn't know what he was doing with Scotty. Now, see these guys getting the ball, see he does his runner. Now, he could have been at 2-0. You were Ryan Kent wants to shoot every time he gets the ball at his feet, which he can't do. Everything's out of the bar. Well, see the striking coach, Roy Mackay, he used to get them together and tell them when it's the best time to shoot, when to keep it low and when to pass it along. Some of the shooting is a disgrace as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Scotty Arfield should have scored twice, in my opinion, yeah?
I had Scotty to score at any time. I think it was 90. I can't remember. I think it was 92. I listened to GF Kelly Road. He fuzzed his 5-0. So I thought, well, that's a bit exuberant. So I went 2-0 with Scotty to score at any time. I was gutted tonight. See when Kamara scores first, I'm saying, no, he must be the one that's going forward. So I can forget about Scotty. And Scotty starts coming forward. They didn't know what they were doing, the midfielders. Who's gone, who's stays, I believe them. See the manager, he's got the players on the park tonight. All he does today is shuffle about a wee bit, move players in different positions.
He's going to get some bodies on, mate. Some of the guys are running empty anyway. We've been joined by Wise Man, we've been joined by Damarnock. Evening, Damarnock.
Good evening, lads.
Damarnock.
Did we get pumped 5-0 tonight, by the way? Because I'm hearing negativity. You know what I mean? 56% possession, 12 shots, 3 in target. They had 1 shot on target, 3 shots. You know what I mean? And people turning it off 5 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go. Whatever happened to no surrender? You know what I mean? Is that not the wee shout? Yeah, people are throwing the towel in, 3 points for behind, and people are throwing the towel in. It's actually quite pathetic, by the way. As I say, you think we get pumped 5-0 tonight? We get 3 points. I think the last time we played them 2-1. Did we not win 2-1 the last time? You know what I mean?
Aye, we did.
Yeah.
1-0 down. Taft got the winner, didn't he?
Yep. So we get 3 points for that. I think Johnstone hadn't been very good. You know what I mean? But we get 3 points. We play the sheep on Saturday, but then we take it for there. You know what I mean? All is not lost, but it's just too many. Rangers fans throwing a towel in. The manager should have made changes. Arfield shouldn't even started. I don't know what's wrong with Sakala. As much as Sakala was played well, but his end product was quite poor, but I'd have still had him on. They're on non empty. He's not meant to change. I don't get it myself, but you know what? We get 3 points. Job done. Ibrox on Saturday, and we take it for there.
Yeah, Damara, it's all right saying that. I agree with what you said there, Damara. But it's nice to win with a bit of style. See the stats you've dished out there. Fantastic. They're right with the stats. Well, let's go in with a bit of style here, Goni.
Did they play well at Paradise, Jim?
Aye, well, listen, we can roll at that. Of course, listen, we all know what happened at Paradise, right?
What was the score?
I'll tell you, we know that. Listen, we all know that. Oh, shit, but listen, that was a bit stylish Paradise than it was tonight.
Oh, Damarnock, I've got to be honest with you, mate. I accept everything you've said, but I've got to say, just on the night's game, it wasn't a great watch, was it?
It wasn't a great watch, but that's maybe more people are worried that we're going to slip up. And we knew how important the night was. Any slip up the night, it probably was curtains. But whenever we get through it, we get 3 points, and we're back to Ibrox on Saturday. There's a chance they'll slip up. They're going to that stupid plastic park on Sunday. You know what I mean? So anything can happen here. But it's just too many throwing a towel in, to tell you the truth. It's no us, you know what I mean? The last game against Motherwell there.
Let him finish. Yeah.
Motherwell. I'm sitting Ibrox and Motherwell going, this is going to be 4 or 5 here. First half, they romped them, you know what I mean? 2-0. And they get 2 lucky breaks. Goals and the keeper mistake, whatever you want to call it. But our finishing should be better. Even with Arfield tonight, you say a couple, he should have buried them. He should have. But you know what? We still get 3 points. It's a bridge, man. That's what we take that to the end of the season.
Oh, no doing that, Dalmara. We couldn't live with that every.
Come on.
I'm too old for that.
On you go.
Come on.
On you go.
Come on.
Damara, can I say one thing? I understand what you're saying. And one thing as a Rangers fan, I will never throw the towel in, and neither will the guys in this programme tonight, and neither will the thousands of Rangers fans listen. We don't throw the towel in, but you've got to see it as it is, right? Tonight we were garbage, let's be honest. Yes, we won, and we're all happy. And can I say one thing? I'll give one player pass marks, big style tonight, and he got an early booking. See big Calvin Batty, see the other 10 players played the way he did tonight. we've never only won 3 or 4, maybe 5-0 tonight. As Jimmy said before the programme, 5-0. See if they all played like Calvin Bassey, we'd have won 5-0 tonight. But they all didn't play like Calvin Bassey. Kent was poor. Aribo was poor. Arfield shouldn't have been on the park for the start, and that's my opinion. If they all played like Calvin Bassey, we'd have won 4 or 5-0 tonight. There you go.
Okay, we've got 3 callers lining up, so give your last word of the evening, David.
I'll be late. I think Dalmarnock's all over the place. There's nobody comes on this show and says that we're going to chuck it or we're not going to get it. You're making we make a valid point of how we see the game, and that's the way we react, and that's all we get. But you can never turn around and say we are going to surrender. We never surrender. Good night.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Enjoy your Maltesers, David. Robert, last word for you, mate.
I'll give you well, David says, we will never surrender to anything. That's what our club was built on for 115 years, 50 years, and we are the people. So do you know what? Yes, I'm frustrated about the night, but I'm delighted we got the win, and it moves on, and let's go out there on Saturday and beat the Sheep. Good night, guys. And can I just say one thing before I go up? Yeah. Can I just say one thing? Can I just say speedy recovery, and I'm glad he's on the mend, to Harry Bartley, young Andrew Bartley's father, because I know he got out of the hospital, and all the best to Harry Bartley, a proper Blue Nose. Good night, guys.
Cheers, Robert. JFK.
I can see where Dalmarnock's coming from, but I mean, it's not about throwing the towel in. I mean, you look back to when we beat Hearts 5-0, right, and then we had the fantastic results against Dortmund, right? In between that, well, before that we had the Annan game, but Dundee United, poor, right? Motherwell, poor. St Johnstone, the night, very poor.
What the poor? It wasn't. I think the point Dalmarnock's making is, let's be honest about it. We weren't poor against Dundee United, particularly in the second half. We weren't poor against Motherwell, particularly in the first half. They were poor results.
Well, it's still a downward spiral. You're not going to tell me that the game... We played for 45 minutes against Motherwell. We were absolutely ganked. Yeah. Dundee United, I would say we were a 60-40. But it's still downward, and it's not about throwing the towel in. It's just that the concern is going forward. It's all right. We always want to say it's Rangers till I die, etc., etc. And we'll support you ever know and follow and no surrender. But there's a trend happening here, right? And we're getting worse. For me, that we've just carried on and got worse for the Motherwell game, even though we won the game 1-0 tonight. And that's concerning, because we know what's going to happen on Saturday against the Sheep. This is their big game for them. And we need to make sure that it's a big game for us, and we need to win it. So next Saturday's game is the next big game for us, and then we've
also been joined by Denver. Evening, Denver.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Can I just say I'm looking forward so much to watching this game after your description of it. You guys could be the salesman of the year.
Denver, it is a classic, mate. You'll enjoy it.
Well, I've got it. I'm going to watch it. I'll be 4 hours before I get home. It's only 3:30 in the afternoon here. I'll sit down at 7:30 at night and watch it. But as I say, your description is like Valhalla, man. Just fantastic. Sounds like the best game I've ever seen.
Can I ask you guys a favour? Can you phone in either tomorrow on Friday and let us know what you think yet?
Well, you know what happens, Ox. Once you see it, when you've not watched it live, it looks a completely different game,
Denver, you get yourself a big carry out, pal.
It's all sorted in the fridge there, Jimmy boy.
All right, talking about carry outs. I'll cut across you, Denver, because I'm getting out on Monday, so we've been joined by Magpie. Evening, Magpie.
How doing, lads? Well, listen, lads. The reason I'm phoning up in so late a space like us, we need to get a grasp of reality. I cannot believe that so many people are talking about how wonderful we were to get Dortmund and what were the greatest team, and now slagging Gio Van Bronckhorst. Let me just say something just now, mate. This has nothing to do with Gio Van Bronckhorst. This is to do with a lack of quality in the squad. This is to do with a players that have won one trophy out of 3-4 seasons. Tell me something. Tell me one game under Gerrard this season that Rangers played well as we did against Dortmund. Who did we beat? Who was it? Who was the manager when we beat Brøndby? Who was the manager that we beat Spartak Moscow? No, Spartak Prague. Let me just say something, mate. People have got to grasp reality here. At the start of this season, right, you could tell by the body language of our manager that he wasn't going to be here. Let's be upfront and honest, but are you telling me these players want to be here because he's not here? Because I didn't think they wanted to be here. So you've got a squad of players who aren't up for the fight. They're not hungry. They never really were up for the fight. They had 2 trophies without Celtic in it. They couldn't win it. We won 1 trophy because they imploded, and we managed to get in front. Now, look, Gio Van Bronckhorst has to bring on his own players. You can't blame a manager if he's not got any of his own players. Gerrard left, right, and I'll just say this to you just now, Ox. Something on social media ages ago, Michael Beale had said something to Press Rangers about something, and a boy called him a Judas, slagged off the guys for leaving. Michael Beale said something that sticks with me. He said, "You don't know the full story." Gerrard never got any backing. We get beat with Malmo. People forgetting that easily against 10 men. We struggled against a pub team for Armenia. We were very fortunate to get through. And now people are shouting at Gio Van Bronckhorst because of the attitude of a lazy bunch of players who will only turn it on when it suits. We've got a goalkeeper who's went past his sell-by date. He's thrown the ball into the net. I says, we've missed chance after chance after chance. And if you're telling me that Rangers have played wonderful football for a long, long time before Gio Van Bronckhorst, please enlighten me when this happened, because it ain't happened for a long time.
This season, mate.
When?
That's a good question, mate. I'm racking my brain.
When? Tell me, when did we, even when we were ahead in the league, you tell me, how many 1-0 wins did we get last year? How many 1-0 wins have we scraped in the past? We've getting beat with Hearts every time we played them under Gerrard. Do you know, let's be up front and honest. Gerrard left because he can bring Coutinho in, right, at Aston Villa. He was bringing Bacuna in here. That's the squad of players we've got. How can Van Bronckhorst be judged when he's not got his own players there? How can you judge somebody that comes in, takes over? Obviously, people, I just didn't feel, look at, you honestly think Kamara wants to be here? Do you honestly think Aribo wants to be here? Do you think, honest opinion, do you think any of those black players from London want to be in Scotland now Gerrard's left? I just don't think so, mate. And that's it. And if you're not up for the fight, you're not up for the fight. The one dreadful game they had was against Celtic. I'll give you that. One dreadful game. But then so did Advocat. And I'll tell you, I played with Tommy Coyne, amateur football. I saw Tommy Coyne destroy Rangers under Souness. 2 weeks in a row. These things happen. If you've not got players that are up for a fight, please don't just start blaming the management, because this guy's just in the door. And these 2 performances against Dortmund, I don't think under Gerrard I've seen performances like that.
That's my opinion. Would you accept he's due some criticism for no trying? Freshen up.
Who did they bring off the bench? You tell me who's the match winner that you could bring off that bench. Ruth doesn't even look fit any time he comes on. Right, do you mean there's not a player there you could turn around and say he's a game changer? Sakala's the only player I would play. He's the only one I'd be interested in. The rest of them, Kamara, you know what Stephen Davis has done, he's been unfortunate. Steve Davis, even last year, you know, there's a lot of players that have passed us out. He's just come in at an unfortunate time, but you've got to give the guy some time, mate. It's not his squad. It's not his squad. It's like me taking over a squad that's just not interested. Oh, I'm not wanting to play anymore because Gerrard's away. We've had these, they're playing crap. They're not that brilliant, but they're getting the results. They're getting the breaks that we don't get. They're getting the referee breaks. They're getting the time added on. You know, we've not had a break this year, mate. We've not had a break. But the truth of the matter is...
Hopefully it'll turn, mate. Hopefully it'll turn.
I've heard the Magpie saying that, but I mean, the big elephant in the room, mate. You're criticising, about the way the team's playing, or no criticising, whatever way you want to put it. But what about Ramsey? Who brought Ramsey to Ibrox?
I wouldn't know, mate. I couldn't tell you.
You can't.
Because in the past, Jimmy, I haven't seen Cranchard coming when he's been passed. I've seen Martin coming.
It must have been. Surely Bronckhorst must have had a say in it. You know, so, I mean, we've got 9 games to go. possibly 12, maybe 13, depending how far we get in Europe and the Scottish Cup and things like that. But you're not going to tell me sitting watching that tonight that you want to shouting for substitutions to be made.
See, for the seasons that Gerard's taken over, how many trophies have we won?
More. We're not talking about the past.
No, how many trophies have we won?
Of
course.
We
never knocked out the cup.
I know that, but we're not talking about.
We never laid a glove on Leon at home, and we never laid a glove on him. We never laid a glove in Malmo. People forgetting these performances, mate.
No, wait a minute, but you're living in ifs, buts, and maybes.
We were 1-0 up against Malmo.
Aye, but we're talking about. But we're talking about the here. We're talking about the here and now. We're trying to critique the St Johnstone game tonight, and I think everybody so far, and I've not heard you saying anything like. Everybody so far was critical of why we didn't bring it freshen up in some way.
And I asked you, who would you bring on?
Well,
on that field,
personally,
I would have wrote right answer, Cameron.
Aye, me I know.
Did you say you bring Ruth on?
I think the last 15 minutes Alfie's gone, mate.
I think Alfie.
We played we played Annan, right, with a chance to bang a few goals and we take what we do every game. We take our foot off the pedal, the gas. If the manager's telling these guys to do that, then he deserves criticism. But maybe it's just a lazy attitude towards some of your players. Maybe we don't play 90 minutes. Maybe that's it. What I'm saying, these are perpetual losers. These are teams. We've had one trophy. We've got to remember that, mate. All the trophies we went for, they weren't into them. They got knocked out, and we still lost those trophies with Gerrard. It's no fair. You cannot judge Van Bronckhorst till he's got his own players, and that's what I'm saying. Then you can.
Good point of view, but listen, come on, Magpie, if I ask you this, and it's a yes or no answer, was that a good watch tonight?
Mate, how many watches we watched? Would you take a 1-0 against St Johnstone on a Wednesday night? Away from home, truthfully.
That wasn't the question.
I'm not talking about the watch, mate. You can't play well all the time. We played the Dortmund and we played it's two different games.
But this is not about Dortmund or Malmo or Motherwell at the weekend. This is a post-match show about the night's game. Was it a good watch? Yes or no?
Can I tell you something? Who's responsible for their own performances? See, when you go to work, who's responsible for your performance?
Me.
Exactly. So there's an attitude there with those players, right? Somebody mentioned it tonight. There's no Barry Ferguson in that team. That's right. There isn't a guy that will take control of midfield and that. Scott Brown was bossing Rangers a bit there, but then Van Bronckhorst, I'm not saying Van Bronckhorst should have taken any.
You want to have a history lesson. You don't need to give me a history lesson. Was it a good watch tonight? Yes or no?
But listen, there've been plenty.
Magpie, was it a good watch tonight?
No, it wasn't a good watch, because I'm just saying, but there've been plenty of them that's not been good watches. It was a fantastic watch against Dortmund away. It's the best performance I've ever seen away from home, mate. Dortmund is the best I've seen for a long, long time, mate.
Aye, so you can. People say that practically the same team. Kilmarnock, practically the same team played against Dortmund away. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is, and maybe we're just want to see the levels again, but we all know football, it doesn't happen. See the last 4 games, Hearts and Hibs was scooshed them. United cheated. You know what I mean? There's nothing else, but it was a good performance. And even Motherwell, as I say, the first half, I was expecting 4 or 5 in that second half, and 2 stupid mistakes. So the last 4 league games, we've been well on top, really, in the 2 games against Dortmund. So the pitch was a bit of level as well, was it? No, that was a bit of a hole. You know what I mean?
I'm the same as I listen to my good friend Robert Weatherall's talking there, and I know the pitch was bad, but come on, there's been fantastic football players there the years I've played in. No, go and take a look at World of Sport in the afternoon in one of the Higme channels. You'll see the kind of football parts that players played in, world class players. And I'm not saying that the part was to blame. Come on, that just doesn't ride with me. I'm just thinking the players tonight weren't good enough, and I think at the moment in time we're just getting a bit downhill. And we'll take our Bridgeman result on Saturday, but I'm not buying into the fact is that the part was bad. Yeah, it was bad. It's bad for both teams, but the manager didn't make any substitutions, and he should have freshened it up. It might have gave us that wee bit of impotence to go. Impetus.
No, it's not just the night's game. It's wee picture, big picture. We've been joined by Blue Star. Blue Star.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Jimmy. Evening, guys.
Paul.
Ox, I said it last night. I said it after Sunday's game. You're looking for positives. I didn't see any positives tonight, apart from the fact, and it's a big fact, we got the 3 points. I would take 9 of them as Ross say, a bridge man. But in all honesty, guys, I'm just not seeing it. The midfield's non-existent. Arfield, as you say, Docs, at the start of the show, he was 20 minutes in before he touched the ball. I'm not picking on him. I'm simply stating the facts. The rest of the team, yes, wee Alfie ran about, and at least he looked up for the game. Aribo, Ken, they were running. It was as if they didn't know one another. I didn't see any real passages of play, didn't I? And then for our manager to come out afterwards, Ox, he was asked the exact question, why didn't you make any substitutions? His answer was, I didn't think we needed to. I thought the team was playing well. Are you having a laugh? I'm worried, Ox. Honestly, I'm worried.
Listen, can I bump in here? I don't want to jump in front of the guys. Don't crank colours.
Don't, because we've been joined by Barry. How are we doing, Barry?
All right, Barry. How you doing? All right, guys. I'm going to throw
bring a bit of sanity to this, Barry.
I'm going to be a wee bit more kind of positive. I'm more to kind of, we're winning a game. I think sometimes substitutes can change the momentum a wee bit. Could I be wrong there? Could I be right? I just feel you're winning the game. These places, midweek games, going to these places, tight wee parks. The pitch was terrible. I think there's a reason why we do better in Europe. We get to play football, we get better players. I think for me, I'm not worried. I heard the caller saying that he's worried. I'm not worried. We're a good team. And I just felt, a lot of guys are shouting for subs, and I'm like, well, we're still winning the game.
As I said, I get the sub argument, mate, because you're talking big picture as well. Because, in my opinion, and I'll bring Jim from Paisley in, Arfield running with nothing in the tank. Kent looked as if he'd nothing in the tank the night with 20 to go, and so did Morelos. So that's the idea of having 5 substitutes. But I get you what you're saying. If we made the substitutions and we lost, people might be coming on and saying, we drew, we shouldn't have changed it. I understand your argument. Jim, in you come, mate.
I was going to say, I forget what I was going to. Anyway, I will suggest this. I think the manager, it looked as if he was afraid to make changes this evening. He's made changes in the past and has come back and shot himself in the foot. But there was changes that could be made tonight. It's not even just changes. I mean, just shuffling it a bit a wee bit. As I suggested earlier on, it looks as if we were playing with Alfie up front on his own. Now, Ryan Kent was sucking Bassett up beside him, losing the ball, and Bassett's going to run back 40 yards because they've lost the ball. Now, Ryan Kent should have been substituted after an hour. I think everybody could see that.
Wasn't it Kent's played well for us?
No, he did have a good night. But I suggest Calvin Bass was covering from a lot of times. Covering from he's going to bolt back 40 yards and Day's defending, and he was getting caught out. See that last 10 minutes tonight? I was sitting in nettles here watching that because I was told myself, here we go, it's going to be another 1-1 draw. St Johnstone didn't trouble us for about 80 minutes, right? But see that last 10 minutes for us? This is where we're more vulnerable in that last 10 minutes. Which is really annoying to me when we should have been 2 or 3 in front after an hour.
And you come, don't matter, then we'll bring Barry back in, yeah.
We're all sitting watching the game, and you see that Haaland come on, know what I mean? You're going, he's going to do damage again. But it never happened this time, know what I mean? So, and see, the players are dead in their feet, and I'll criticise the manager for not making changes. And see, you get a heavy pitch like that, and you're already tired. You're already blown out. It's hard gone. Know what I mean? But we got there. we get through the 90 minutes, we get the 3 points, and that is, at the end of the day, is all that matters tonight, was 3 points. And they look tired. And I cannot understand why he's persisting with all these same players that we can all see look tired. But that is what it is. But the 3 points, job is done. So I'm happy with that. Know what I mean?
Can I come in, Ox? See this. Somebody said there a brilliant point. Tell me something. I mentioned to you again. Who were you going to bring on if the midfield's not functioning properly? Who were you going to bring on if there's no surface to provide for the forwards? Who was going to make it? Was Roof going to come on and be this magic guy that he's not been all season? He's hardly kicked a ball all season. Right? You're talking about a hard game away from home, a Wednesday night. Every game's a battle for Rangers. It's going to be a battle for Rangers. It's no football involved in Scottish football. People should know that the reason away games are on the television in Scotland all the time isn't to showcase the wonderful stadiums. It's because it's more competitive, because there's going to be up and at them football with very little football in it, and it doesn't matter who's playing. The standard of football in Scotland is absolutely rotten. Kent wouldn't be at Rangers just now if he was consistent. That's the reality, mate. We've got the players we've got. I've told you again, I'll say again, how many trophies have we won under Gerrard? How many? I'm asked a straightforward question. When we played the two European games we played, all the European performances, right? We talked about a great European team. How many great European performances this season under Gerrard did we have? We lost them all, apart from Brøndby, a draw. A pub team, for Armenia or whatever, I don't know where they're from.
No, we didn't start Europe well. That's how it was such a surprise.
We didn't start anything well. If they weren't so crap at the start of the season, now we should still be way ahead in that league. It's missed chances. It's mistakes with McGregor. That's what's cost us. It's not tonight. It's the other. No, if you can't finish chances, that's no fan Docker's fault.
We're no one talking about the rest of the season. That's for other shows. This show is about tonight's game. Barry, in you come.
I mean, I just feel like you get this unwritten rule that after 60 minutes, if we're no battering a team, we should be making subs. Well, for me, I mean, I remember last season a couple of games where Gerrard was involved. I think it's modern day that, if you're winning the game, you're winning the game. You don't really need to be changing the momentum. So that, for me, that's important. It's a different type of park, as I said, with your ballers like Kent. That's not their night tonight. They're not getting the width. They're not getting to play the way they would normally get to play. But I don't know. I just feel that it's points where you might look back at the end of the season and say, what, that was a good win. We maybe never looked great.
I hope you're right. Well, gentlemen, both stars, last word for you, mate, and then JFK's going to shut the show.
Ox, I'm just praying, and I'm being serious here, I'm just praying that we can get Jack back fit, because for me, he's been the one shining light I've seen out of everybody. At the moment, granted, all praise to him, we got the 3 points tonight, and that was the most important thing, so it's onwards and upwards, and let's just have a bit of faith in them, but hopefully they can start turning on a bit of style, surely.
Right, can I thank everybody for their comments tonight? I know passions always run high after the game. Everybody sees things slightly different. I think thanks to everybody the way they've conducted themselves. Listen, over to you, JFK.
Yeah, it was a crack night. Quite a lively debate for my regular callers, especially one who keeps it all going. And it's been really good I was here before the show and after the show, and I'm still shocked about what I watched the other night. Poor football, but as Magpie said, it was a great win. So it's great to be back again tonight. Oxy, I'd like to thank you for that. Just before I go, I'd just like to remember you all, Saturday between 10 and 12 o'clock in Drumchapel Orange Halls, you can make donations to the Ukraine appeal. So if you can get over there, do so. If not, go to somewhere else that is doing these appeals. And I'd just like to thank you all very much and say that let's go, keep it going for the Rangers. The sheep are up next. We are the people.
All right, can I thank all the callers tonight? Enjoyed some of the points. Great to hear from you, Magpie, as always. Kilmarnock, Barry and all the lads that joined us here tonight. Thanks for taking the time to join us. Thanks for listening. Please stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by the one and only Big Stevie and the Bridgeman. Take it away, old school boy.
They come from all of Glasgow, they come from near and far. They come from every Highland glen, from here to Lochnacar. They sail from dear old Belfast to the bonny banks of Clyde. They gather round to Timeless Park and loudly sing with pride. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Why, there's Richie Shearer, Robin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. The boys in blue, the Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Richie Shearer, Robin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E and R-N-S. In case you didn't catch your friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yeah, it's R-E-N-G-E